This video found you because there is goodness trying to come into your life right now. And you've done so much work on calling that good thing in, but when it actually arrives, you're not fully sure that you can trust it. So here are some insights that helped me recently navigate this too and help me feel safe to receive. Because when you can learn how to let that goodness in, you save yourself so much time and anguish thinking that it's not here, or you're just like batting it away without knowing when it is right there for you to have. So the first insight I have for you is the importance of relaxation. I heard someone on YouTube say a while ago that receiving is hard work. And I sort of internalized this belief because it felt true at the time while I was working really, really hard on trying to learn how to receive and doing the inner work, doing the spiritual work, healing my traumas and wounds around not feeling enough, list goes on. And once you have reached a certain point, it is important to be able to also see the truth of the naturalness and the easiness for all of us to receive goodness. And this kind of dawned on me just a few days ago. I think about metaphysics a lot these days, and I've shared in my other videos, but when we come from the basic premise that the creator of everything, God, source, universe, is ultimately pure goodness, and we were created in that image and likeness, we were literally designed to be able to receive the good that is being passed on to us from our creator. And it's like this unbreakable, inseparable connection. And so as I was pondering this, I realized this belief about receiving being hard work is actually so untrue. You shouldn't have to work to be able to hold something that's good, to let it come in and let it grow, take root in your life, because that's our nature. Our spiritual nature, designed in the image and likeness of goodness, is already able to support life, is already able to support growth, support the implantation, if you will, of truth. You can see it reflected all around you in actual Mother Nature, right? Like seeds are dormant until they hit the fertile earth. And it's not that the seed itself is broken or that something's wrong with it or lacking within it, that it doesn't sprout and like grow its roots and be able to then blossom and eventually turn into harvest. It's actually just waiting for the right conditions. And as soon as those conditions are aligned, life just begins naturally, right? And so the same goes for us. If we turn that back on ourselves and say, well, we also have the same ability to root down into fertile earth when the conditions are right. And yet we think that it's so hard. There's so much like tilling of the soil that needs to be done in order to get to that place. And I'll talk a little bit more about what like the work of relaxation really has been showing me lately that makes it feel less like work. So first of all, just flipping that belief. And I've been saying to myself, it is easy and natural for me to receive the good. So then let's talk about what type of relaxation are we after and how do we practice that? Well, it's just, as I'm saying that, I'm kind of like, wow, isn't it funny that I'm kind of sad that we live in a world that we have to talk about how to relax. But again, also a lot of compassion too, because yeah, that is the world that we live in right now. So relaxation of body and mind. If you think about it, when you're the most relaxed is when things naturally just fall into your waiting consciousness and therefore create a reality, because that's where divine consciousness, the creating power that like drops those seeds of ideas into our fertile waiting consciousness for us to then create when the time and everything aligns. That's why also when you're not like actively thinking about things and ruminating about things, is usually when we get the best ideas, like say in the shower, or for me, it's when sometimes I'm eating a meal and I'm like totally present, just like eating food and not at all thinking about what I was just ruminating about. And then the the light bulb moment will happen, or if I'm off on a walk or in my body. I've also recently experienced it after releasing a huge energetic block and actually having to go through that sort of purging and deep, hard work process. Like once you finally hit that point of clearance, that brilliant idea or insight, that seed, it drops into that space where that contraction was taking place, because now it's free and open and relaxed for the creative energy and ideas to just fall into place. So I think all of us can benefit from learning to relax more, especially as creators of our lives, whether that's you're an actual like creative artist or you're just actually co-creating the life you want to live. Because yeah, that state of relaxation is when we are most aligned with God, creator, source, and the good things that are literally our birthright and are trying to be passed down to us infinitely and constantly. That's when those things can actually have the room to appear. And then when we can stay relaxed, that's when those things can start to root down and naturally grow into something more sustainable. And this leads into the second insight, which is that you don't have to be perfectly regulated and relaxed for goodness to be in process of not just coming to you, but like arriving and rooting, which is kind of mind-blowing in itself, because the other day I was just thinking about how beautiful it is to witness the process of becoming and the process of growth. I was sitting in my voice class. We're almost at the end of 12 weeks or something like that. And we get to sing in front of the class, and just to see my classmates and I, just the trajectory of our growth over the past 12 weeks, I was getting so emotional sitting there because I was like, wow, like this is what it's about. There's so much goodness happening in this space. It took a safe space like that where you can like sing off key, you can miss the notes, you can mispronounce the Italian words that you've never heard before, and that you can really mess up in front of other people. That's what it took for me to be able to see like, oh, wow, this really isn't about being good at singing. This is just about learning how to sing and being comfortable with the process unfolding, the goodness, and that the outcome, sure, yeah, it's on its way, but that you moving through your process is how you receive the good. It is how you get to that place where you want to go. And what I've also been reflecting on a lot is the omnipresence of God, and just meaning that God is there in all time and space, which means that goodness also has to be there. So whenever I can, I'll just stop myself and say, God is here, or, divine universe is right here in this moment. So good is also here. And what that's helped me to do is to just kind of bring my mind back into the present moment instead of projecting some future where the goodness is over there. Simultaneously, while I was thinking about this, there was a period where I was really struggling to feel regulated and feel safe with all the goodness that's been coming in recently. And I was kind of like being hard on myself and thinking that, oh, there's more work to do. I'm still not there. And then I caught myself saying like, oh, well, once I feel safe and once I feel more regulated and relaxed, then it will come. But then I realized like, no, God knew exactly how I was going to react to the situations that he put me in. And that's why they're appearing in my life right now, because he's using them to give me all of the embodied experience that I need while receiving the goodness. And I think that's kind of the key. It's like, yes, there's goodness coming in the future, and it's also happening right now. By moving through the contraction and the dysregulation and the fear of the good thing itself, you are letting more and more of it in every moment. So that night after class, I promised myself, I said, I am not going to keep thinking that my blessings are delayed until I become more healed or more masterful and more regulated. I am going to let myself understand and know that the goodness is right here. And the embodied way to do that, instead of just thinking about it, is to actually move through what's being given to me in real time, in real life. And even if it appears to be really overwhelming or it's causing me like to feel anxious or confused, just to be with that, being with that and letting all of those feelings, those thoughts, those tensions like subside, using all the tools and the resources and things that we have on hand to be able to navigate our way through. That's how you receive goodness, like what you're already doing. And so why tell yourself that it's delayed? Why push the goodness off into the distance again, just because you're feeling this instability of growth? If you really think about it too, I think that maybe for a visual that might be helpful is like think about us as a bubble, and that what is within our comfort zone, what we're used to, what we're already holding currently is inside of that bubble. And if you want to grow this bubble itself, like the outer periphery of it has to kind of like soften and even crumble away a little bit in order for it to be opened up, to grow bigger and to kind of re-anchor itself into this position. And then the same happens every single time that you expand. I mean, we're constantly infinitely expanding, but you get the point, right? It actually makes sense for you to be feeling wobbly and dysregulated as you're growing in your capacity to receive and the good and to hold it. You actually have to expand your container for being able to hold these things, and it is a natural ability that you already have. I mean, it is a lot of work to do the emotional labor of like regulating yourself on all this. Even zooming out on top of that, it's like the work is actually realizing that that's all that's required. Like you're already doing it, you're already receiving the goodness, and there is nothing more on top of that that you need to do. Like this is it. This is the process, and you're in it right now. And it does take a fair bit of time and practice and a good collection of tools that really work for regulating your emotions, connecting to your body, sifting through all of those internal experiences, and really refining the wisdom and what you want to carry forward out of all of that. That is what I have spent the last several years like really refining within myself too. And I've put all of that knowledge inside my courses. And so if you're looking for more tools to be able to help you process your internal experiences, you can find all of my courses and trainings inside of my monthly membership. And it's called the Activation Archive. You can access currently over a dozen courses and trainings for connecting to your body and helping us process through a lot of those sensations and emotions and thoughts and things that occur internally, so that you can come out on the other side feeling clear and peaceful and grounded. So I'm going to put the link for the Activation Archive in the description box below. And one more note, if you have a fearful avoidant attachment style, I totally get it, because I am there as well, or I was there before I developed a secure attachment style, but I still deal with some moments where that fearful avoidance, like remnants, kind of comes up. So for the fearful avoidant, what I've learned is that your nervous system is likely equally terrified of both the good and like actually dangerous things coming your way. And there's a good chance that goodness and danger actually feel the same to you in the beginning. And it's kind of tricky because, I've always heard that the right things for you will feel peaceful. And as a fearful avoidant, I would say that in my experience, that's like 90% or maybe 80% true. And the other percentage of that is recently I realized that when something really good is about to come in, that it triggers really intense, like almost panic. But that once we use the tools and things for that to subside and sift through all that, then what's behind that is actually an even deeper sense of peace and like this is right. Like this is good. However, I'll always be an advocate for using your own discernment and connecting to your own personal experiences, being the one to decide what that means for you, because you're the only one who actually knows at the end of the day, in the specific situation, the specific context that you're in, And it can be easy to, see these videos on YouTube and have it sort of act as a confirmation bias of like maybe what you want it to mean. But once you really sit and like connect to your deepest, most authentic and truthful self, like the truth naturally emerges and you won't have to look anywhere outside of yourself. You'll just know what is actually hitting something of resonance inside you and what is actually just suggesting and amplifying something that's not actually true for you. So practicing how to relax your body and mind, having compassion for yourself while you do it, and remembering that you are receiving in this process as it's all happening, learning to master and decipher between your fears internally. Like these things have helped me so much in my own journey of creating the life that I want to live and letting my life like brim over with goodness. And I hope that these insights will help you to do the same, that you feel seen and supported and more connected to yourself as a result. If there's anything that resonates with you in this video, please leave a comment and subscribe, share, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah.